Keep it simple. That was not my best effort at noodling. It'll have to do. It's a backing track I did, and somewhere in there I stuck like an extra little chord in there that throws me off somewhere in the middle. And that's an old jazz standard called, let's see, I don't want a copyright strike. That's called Wintertime. Wintertime, yes. Hi, it's the Great Fanzini, and I'm back again. Any of you who watched, I think my last live stream probably saw this guitar. It's a jazz box with no cutaway. It's about 2.5 inches deep, and it is a Washburn with a floating mini humbucker. I don't remember the type of humbucker exactly, but I will find out. It's a 24 3/4 inch scale guitar, but this is where things get weird in jazz boxes. It's only got 20 frets. And so scale lengths in jazz boxes get really weird really quick, and I don't know that it matters because on a no cutaway guitar, you're not getting up here anyway. You ain't getting there from here. Well, I'm not getting there anyway. So, you know, what it wants to be is it wants to be a Gibson ES-150, also known as a Charlie Christian. It's not, but then it doesn't cost what an ES-150 does either. So, you know, an old ES-150. So, ES-150s were known as the Charlie Christian guitar. They had a single coil pickup. They were a little deeper than this. They sounded great. They were shaped a wee bit different, I think, too. They were basically shaped like this, but I don't know if the lower, if the bout was as deep as this one is. This is a very cheap, inexpensive Washburn. I'll show you if I can, the tuners. They're closed tuners. I bought this new, and I've debated if it was 12 years ago or if it was 8 years ago. I think it probably more like 8 to 10 is probably closer. And I was on vacation in Bend, Oregon, and saw it there, and the guy had worked on it and set it all up and done fret work. It absolutely plays wonderful all these years later. I've never done a thing to it. He put flat wound strings on it, and I changed the strings on it one time. So other than that, I've never done anything to it at all. I thought about, I'm not a big fan of floating. This one sounds really good. I'm not a big fan, though, generally of floating pickups. The idea there is that they have more of an acoustic quality sound, and I think they do. I prefer pickups that are set in the body, like a humbucker, like a Gibson ES, like an ES-165 or a 175 or something like that. The old Charlie Christians had a single coil. They should have been noisy, because they were an early version of a single coil, and way back in the 1930s. And, they put them through the original early tube amps. And yet, if you don't know anything about Charlie Christian, look him up here on YouTube and get an education, because the guy was kind of the first Jimi Hendrix. He was the first person that was a household name that played electric guitar. And so therefore he deserves that designation of being the first Jimi Hendrix. I don't know. Perhaps Jimi should be the second Charlie Christian. I'm not sure. It's very hard for me to play this and for you to get the sound, because there's so much acoustic sound that comes out of it that's going into the mic, plus the sound from the amp. There I'm getting the amp sound. Pretty bassy in this. There's not much to report here. I don't know what else to say about it. It's 20 frets. Scale lengths, for those of us who are old blues guys or old rockers, we're used to 2 scale lengths, 24 3/4, kind of the Gibson scale length, and the 25 1/2, kind of the Fender scale length. I do like the Paul Reed Smith 25-inch scale. To me, that's just about perfect. When you get into jazz boxes, they sometimes use those scale lengths. Rarely the 25 1/2, but some on a few of them there have been, and but more like the 24 3/4. But I mean, even some of them you see are 23 with 19 frets or something like that. So it's very hard to compare scale lengths and the fret spacing and all that, because they're all so different. This is 20 frets on a 24 3/4 though, and it's just about right. This is always my test. I go down here to F and do like a honky tonk. I can do it. I might get through a song, but my old arthritic hands are going to complain later. I can't tell you, the neck shape, I couldn't find a whole lot of information on this, but it's not quite I wouldn't call it a C shape. It's not quite a perfect, it's actually fairly flat from front to back, and it's not too thick here. It's a very nice feel, just a very nice feel to it. Not a big thick neck at all. So it's a mini humbucker. Doesn't say what type, I don't remember. I wanted to say it was a Lawrence maybe back in the day, but I could be way off on that. The wood is mahogany. The neck is mahogany. The fretboard is rosewood, back in the old days when there was rosewood all around. And of course when they say it's mahogany, they're not telling the full story. It's all laminates, and I don't mind that. I think sometimes I think laminate sound just are like the best sounding. It has wonderful tone. If you put it through a, jazz guys are way different than us old blues guys and rock guys. If you put it through a good solid state amp and don't put it through one of those crummy tube amps, you get a real nice clean sound without any of that breakup nonsense. So, and it absolutely works. I sometimes use a little Quilter Micro Block 45 amplifier the size of a foot pedal, like a distortion pedal, and it's I put it through a 12-inch speaker, which gives me 33 watts at 8 ohms. So it's got that kind of trappy style bridge on it. The bridge is not pinned, And as usual, I have not taken the plastic off the pickguard yet, because it's only been 8 years. I don't want to rush things. Hey, at least I took the plastic off the pickup on this one. That's good. The pickup actually sounds really good. The reason I don't mind this one, because this floating pickup sounds better than I've got two or three jazz boxes with floating pickups, and this one sounds better. Now here's the deal. Some of those other ones cost me, you know, back in the day, used $700-800. One, well, that doesn't have a float. Well, it does. It's got a rhythm chief. One was about $1,000. This thing sounds as good as any of them. This brand new back 8 or 10 years ago was $385 with a gig bag. And they also made this. This is the HB15. They also made the HB15C. And the HB15C, of course, the C stood for cutaway. It had a cutaway, and I actually came really close to buying one because I like this one so much. And of course now they've quit making them. So if you want one with a cutaway, find a used one. I think they quit making them just a year or so ago. And they were going for somewhere around like $425, $450, something like that. I noted on one where it said $4 whatever it was, but it didn't say includes gig bag. So I don't know if they did, maybe they quit doing that towards the end. The gig bag was an okay, kind of an in-between gig bag. It wasn't paper thin, but it wasn't real thick and real protective, but it worked, you know. And I don't play out. Well, back when I got it, I played out a little bit, not much in the way of jazz stuff. So that's all there is to report. I don't know how long I've gone here. 18 minutes. We're done. I'm going to take you out with some sort of jazz. I'll take you out with Summertime again here. We'll listen for that missing chord, or that goofy chord that I put in the backing track. And then I did two. Volume and treble. Here. No, on the first time around I didn't do it. Here, if we did there, what was that? E minor and B7th. And the middle section, I'll go over that song with you real quick. I did two middle sections because I found two types of sheet music on that. And one of them said in the middle section, when you go to A, it goes. And the other one went, which one did I just do? The other one went. One was, I think I don't know if it was the original sheet music, but one was from somebody else's as sung by somebody else. So they used two different middle sections. One just was a half step down, and the other one was started off with a full step down. major 7th. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, so I put them both in, and I think that's where the screw-up is. I think I missed a chord in putting that backing track together. So if you got any questions, feel free to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Feel free to leave a comment, because you know me, man. I'll talk your head off in the comments down below if you got thoughts about this particular guitar. I actually have 3 guitars that are no cutaway, and I like them because they actually restrict me. Some people would say, why would you ever want one without a cutaway? You got it, at least with a cutaway you get a little action up here. And I want it because Charlie Christian didn't have it. Not that I'm any Charlie Christian, that's for darn sure. And then go listen to Charlie Christian and hear what he did with a no cutaway guitar. He just flew up and down the fretboard. And it's just amazing to listen to. And so I like that because it actually does restrict me, and I'm not tempted to try to go way up high. Although I think I just did in the intro here. So anyway, we'll talk to you later. We'll take it out with which one I put in first. Talk to you later. You all stay safe out there, okay? Leave a comment. Bye-bye.